Welcome to my complete Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order guide. This video contains the most updated information that you need to know about the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders for the US. This video includes the latest pre-order date, the pricing, as well as the availability and times you can pre-order from most of the major stores and chains, tips and tricks for successfully pre-ordering the Switch 2, the accessories and controllers situation, the Micro Express SD cards, and finally, the latest information regarding the Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as pre-order news regarding certain titles. One final note before we begin, while this video is geared towards those in the US, there is info here that is useful to all the regions, so even if you're outside of the US, then this video might be of some good use for you. As you can tell, there's a lot to cover, so let's just dive into it all. First things first, in case you haven't heard the news, for those in the US, you'll finally be able to pre-order the Nintendo Switch 2 system on April 24th. Also to note, the pricing of the console has not changed. That means the console itself will still cost $449.99, while the bundle with a digital copy of Mario Kart World will cost $499.99. The system will come out on June 5th. For those looking to pre-order, here's the latest plans for pre-order day for certain retailers. For GameStop, online pre-orders for the system will go live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on April 24th. In-store pre-orders will go live for each store when they open for business for that day. For launch day, June 5th, every GameStop store should be doing a midnight release for the system. GameStop themselves are saying 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time and the basic time zone equivalent to that time. So if you're on the West Coast, you'll be able to pick it up on June 4th, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. For Walmart, pre-orders for them, for their online store, will start at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 24th. Walmart's website also says you'll get the console before 9 a.m. on June 5th if you pre-order by 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on June 4th, with them in quotations saying, while supplies last. For Target stores, you'll be able to pre-order with them on April 24th, starting at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on their website. Best Buy themselves haven't announced yet, at the time of making this video, what time the pre-orders are happening on their website for the Nintendo Switch 2 systems. If they do announce it, I'll make sure to post it down below with the updated info. That said, if I had to take a guess, they will also probably start at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to pre-order from them, make sure to be ready by then. Best Buy themselves is offering midnight pickup at most stores for launch day, but you will need to look up and verify to make sure your store is doing that. I heavily suggest for you to call your store directly just to be extra sure. Amazon, in the US, looks to not be handling any Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. That includes consoles and first-party accessories, as well as first-party games at this time. It's very unlikely that that situation will change before launch day. Pretty much, Amazon is still in the doghouse here in the US when it comes to Nintendo. Finally, for the Nintendo Store, the online shop, Nintendo is allowing select users to register interest in order to buy the console. If you're selected by them, pre-orders will be allocated to those first come, first served. I'll have a link to all that down below for those who are interested. That's the updated dates and times for the major retailers. Now before moving on, I do want to take a moment and talk about pre-order day prep. Now for those who consider this not their first rodeo in regards to pre-ordering stuffs, feel free to skip this section. But for those who haven't maybe done this pre-order business before, I have some tips and tricks to make this go as smoothly as it possibly can. Now I want to be clear, the demand is expected to be very high for the system. Pre-orders are expected to go fast on day one, so you're going to want to be ready. For those ordering online, you want to make sure that on the website you want to order from, that your account info is up to date. That includes your shipping info, aka address, and that your card or bank info has been saved to your account and is ready to go. You'll also want to make sure that you know your password to your account, or have a way that you can verify it quickly in case it asks you when you try to place an order. Speed is going to be a key aspect here. Secondly, you're going to want to have a backup website for pre-ordering in case the main website you want to order from runs out of the pre-orders or has issues. I suggest having accounts on all the major retailers that I talked about. Best Buy, Target, Walmart, GameStop, all those, just in case. Now for those doing in-store pre-orders, right now it seems like GameStop is the only one that's going to do this. So what you want to do is get to the store early that day. That means before it opens, because it's likely that there's going to be a line starting early. If you try to roll up at the time your store opens, then there might be a line, and it might be already too long, and you might be out of luck. One final tip for those pre-ordering, and this is everyone, make sure your credit card or for your bank account that you get the funds available. And for credit card users, if you've never made a big purchase before with your credit card, then make sure to let your credit card company know that you plan to make a big purchase around that time. Why do this? Because I've seen it with some companies. They will not let a purchase go through because their system flags it as unusual because you haven't made a big purchase before. I've seen it happen to plenty of people when it comes to these pre-order events over the years. It's better to be safe than sorry. While we're at the halfway point, I do want to take a brief moment and talk about the Discord for this channel, the Kaiju Club. In that Discord, I often post about the latest Nintendo Switch game deals. So as right now, we have a brand new section dedicated to the latest Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. Deals, updates, everything. If you're not a member already, then I'd like to take a moment and extend an invite personally to you. There's a wonderful community of Nintendo gamers there, and we'd love to have you there. So feel free to join. We don't bite. Anyway, I'll have a link to that posted down below. Moving on, let's talk accessories and controllers. While the console and games are not going any higher in prices than what they were originally announced, most first-party accessories and controllers have sadly gone up in price. It's been generally a $5 to $10 increase across the board. I got the updated prices on the screen now, but the key changes are that the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller is now $84.99, the 2-pack of the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons is now $94.99, the charging grip for the new Joy-Cons is $39.99, the new dock is now $119.99, the brand new camera is $54.99, and the AC adapter from the Nintendo Switch 2 is $34.99. Yeah, there's a lot of expensive stuff there. Now let's talk directly about controllers for a second, because let's be frank, like I said, these things are expensive as heck. Luckily, most Switch 1 controllers are going to be compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. Here's what you need to know. The Switch 1 Joy-Con controllers can connect to the Switch 2. You can use these to play your games. What you will need to do is find a way to charge them, like having the Switch 1 system itself, or using a charging stand or the like in order to charge them. Additionally, you cannot exit sleep mode on a Nintendo Switch 2 by using the home button on the original Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controllers. The original Nintendo Switch Pro controller, as well as the classic controllers, like the Super Nintendo, Nintendo, NES, N64, and etc., will work with the Nintendo Switch 2 system. For the NES controllers, you will additionally, just like the Joy-Cons, need to find a way to charge them, as you cannot connect them directly to the Switch 2 system. As far as playing games, they will all work. And just like the Switch 1 Joy-Cons, the home button cannot wake the Nintendo Switch 2 system from sleep mode. So if you need a spare controller for the Switch 2, here's my advice. For now, try to use your Switch 1 controllers, if you have them, to save a bit of dough. Hopefully these prices will go down later this year, hopefully by the holidays. Besides, as good as the Switch 2 Pro controller seems to be, the original Switch Pro controller is still a very good controller to use. A few more accessory notes: the Nintendo Switch dock is not compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2. That one should be obvious. The original Nintendo Switch AC adapter cannot be used with the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, but it can charge the system itself. So if you plan to travel without a dock, then you might want to use an OG Nintendo Switch adapter if you have one kicking around. Finally, GameCube Classics will be available day 1 for the Nintendo Switch 2 system. It'll be included with the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack service. I've already gone in depth about it in the future games for the service in a video on the channel, so go check that out if you haven't done so yet. For the GameCube Classics, Nintendo is releasing a GameCube controller for the GameCube Classics thing exclusively for Nintendo Switch Online members on the Nintendo Store on June 5th. The GameCube controller can be used for other games on the Switch 2, but keep in mind, because it doesn't have all the buttons as the Switch 2 Joy-Cons or the Switch 2 Pro controller, that there could be some compatibility issues with certain games. Now this isn't a big deal, as this has always been the case with their classic controllers. Moving on, let's talk storage. The Nintendo Switch 2 system uses microexpress SD cards. That means the microSD cards that you already use with your original Nintendo Switch system will not work on the Switch 2. The microexpress SD cards are newer SD cards that allow for a much faster data transfer rate. At the moment, they come in 4 sizes: 128GB, 256GB, 512GB, and 1TB. 3 makers seem to make the cards currently: Lexar, SanDisk, and Samsung. Because of the demand, the cards themselves have been going in and out of stock almost daily. If you want to pick up one for the Switch, you pretty much will have to check day by day. I will have some links down below to the Amazon store pages so you can keep those saved, and I'll make sure to post any updates in the Discord if there are any big availability changes. That said though, don't sweat it if you can't find any before launch, or if it's just not in the budget at this time. The Nintendo Switch 2 already comes with 256 gigs of internal memory, so you're pretty much good to go from the start. It's not like it was with the original Nintendo Switch 1 systems, where they only came with 32GB of internal memory. Now before I go today, let's talk about the games. I've already gone over what games have already been confirmed for launch day in a video on the channel, so make sure to check that out. It's a good healthy list of games. A lot of those games will have physical versions, and most pre-orders for them will be available around April 24th. That said, some of those are available for pre-orders now, most notably the games published by Marvelous, which I've already posted about on this channel's YouTube community page, as well as in the Discord. As more go live, I'll make sure to keep you updated in the Kaiju Club Discord's Nintendo Switch 2 section. Now in the past with pre-orders when it comes to games, it's not been super important outside limited runs or special editions, because, well, typically there's plenty of stock available. This time though, I'm hearing a lot of reports there are some concerns about low availability for some of the games. My advice is this: if there's a game you want for your Switch 2 on day 1 physically, then you just should go ahead and pre-order it. Worst case scenario, if you don't want it, then you can always cancel the pre-order. On launch day, the Nintendo Switch 2 editions of the 2 Zelda games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, will go live. Now you can buy the fancy new editions, the ones that will have the Nintendo Switch 1 version of the game and the Switch 2 update on the same cart, but if you're looking to save some money, my advice is just to go get a used copy of the game if you don't already have the game, and then you can purchase the Switch 2 upgrade by itself. The upgrade has been confirmed to be $10. It's far cheaper to go that route than spending $70 or $80 outright. The Nintendo Switch 2 updates for the 2 Zelda games will also be included in the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack service for no additional cost. And there you go, everything you need to know from top to bottom about the Nintendo Switch 2 when it comes to pre-ordering, as well as some updated launch day info. Let me know down below if you have any questions, or you can also let me know in the Discord. Make sure to join the Discord for the latest news updates, as well as make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I have a playlist of every Nintendo Switch 2 video for the channel, so feel free to check that out too. That all said, the countdown begins now. I wish you luck. I hope you have a good pre-ordering experience. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon on the next video.